Hey everyone, just a quick video today just to get this out of the way before everybody has a great weekend. I'm going to be doing a quick review on Epistaxis Clips, these fun little things right here. I'm sure everybody's probably seen them in facility or around on other services. We are going to be putting these on our trucks. As of today, essentially, if you've received them, they can go on your trucks today. We're going to be doing a quick review of why and how we use them, and I'll let everyone know where to put them, and from there on, they can go into circulation. So we're going to be using these more for our anterior nosebleeds. Now, obviously, we as EMS can't really tell where our nosebleeds are originating from in our patients. We don't have that ability. The nice thing about these clips is that you are going to be using them to treat an anterior nosebleed, but they won't necessarily cause any harm to a posterior nosebleed. This is just a nice tool in our management of nosebleeds until they can get to a little bit more definitive care where we can find out what's actually happening with these patients. So I'm going to share my screen here just to do a quick review of how we are using these. As I mentioned, Epistaxis clips are more for your anterior nosebleeds, which are typically originating in this Kiesel box plexus at the front of your nose. This is a very vascular rich area in the anterior nose that is going to be the most common site for nosebleeds. Keeping this in mind, again, we can still use these for posterior nosebleeds. They just probably won't be as effective. When we're landmarking for this area is going to be in front of the nasal bones. So we're not going to be placing these clips over top of nasal bones. It's almost in the top tip of our nose. As you can see right here, this is a very vascular rich area. So we're not going to be plugging the nares unless that just happens to be anatomically how we have to do it. But the goal is to be putting pressure on this vascular rich area up in the top of the nose. Here's a couple of picture examples as well. So as I mentioned, sometimes we might end up plugging the nares, like in this young child. She's just anatomically a little bit too small for these clips, but you can see that we have still put a little bit of pressure in that area. This almost could go up a little bit higher, but it is probably doing its job there. On this gentleman here, we can see that maybe it might be a little bit farther back than it needs to be, but still providing some pretty good pressure to that area. Let's stop sharing my screen now. Okay. So these are the ones that we're going to be carrying. They're entirely white. They're almost exactly like the ones on that gentleman in the photo description. The photo example. So when we're landmarking these for our epistaxis patients, as I mentioned, it's almost right in the top tip of the nose here. We don't want it down on the bottom. We're not just using it to plug nares, and we definitely don't want it up in the nasal bones. So that's going to be right about there. Of course, this is not the be all end all for our epistaxis treatment. We're not going to forget our basics, which is good positioning, tilt the head forward. We don't want to add bloody vomit onto our list of problems for that patient. And we can be providing cold packs to these patients as well in a variety of areas. Some people like back of the neck, some people like ice pack right on their nose, some people like it just below their nose or on the forehead. Either way, I mean, it's not definitive care, but it does help some people feel better. It can cause some vasoconstriction that will help with the bleeding. If we're dealing with young children with epistaxis, actually a great way to manage that is to offer them a cold drink, a cold popsicle. That'll cause some vasoconstriction in the roof of their mouth as well. As I mentioned, these can go on to truck pretty much now. As soon as this is out, we will be putting them just in our red bags, keep them in the pouch that has the triangle bandages, the space blankets, and we're going to be keeping 2 in each red bag. I don't anticipate these being used super heavily, so we don't need a huge stock of them. Regardless of that, they have sent a lot of them. So if you need any extra, let us know and we'll get them out to you. Unit check sheets will be getting updated soon, but as it stands, just get these on your trucks if you have them. and we'll let you know when the unit check sheets have been updated. If you have any more questions regarding these Epistaxis clips, give me a call, give me a text, and we'll figure it out. Thanks so much, guys.